What's up, graphic designers, and welcome to day 4 of this What We're Reading teacher poster project. In yesterday's class, we superimposed covers onto the PNG cutouts of our teachers, and it looks like Miss Sutton is really enjoying her book, as is Mr. Duru. You guys did a great job with this stage, and now we're going to transition to the final stage where we're drafting the posters themselves. At the end of class, you're going to save it as a PSD, and then when you're done and you get approval, you're going to submit it as a JPEG. We're going to be using this spreadsheet to get the information that we're going to need to include in our poster, including the blurb in column G, and maybe some suggestions about what we can include in column H. So what you're going to need to do today is you're going to identify your teacher of choice, and you're going to write down in column F the poster or the teacher that you're working on. So we're going to look in column A. We can see this is Miss Rubenstein. If, for example, Dylan happens to be working on this, he's going to sign out Miss Rubenstein and he's going to start working. Tomorrow's class, we're going to add an additional column, and each teacher is going to have 1, 2, or maybe 3 posters. You're going to be creating multiple posters. And let's talk a little bit about the expectations for this assignment. Here's this a little bit of a visual rubric in terms of what you should be creating, and it's going to look a little bit like this, and I'm just going to highlight that we're going to be implementing color inversion. So here we have yellow on blue, blue on yellow. We can see that the blurb right here is easily legible, and in a moment I'm going to talk to you about how to create containers for text. Here we've got red and white, white and red, simple text at the top. Ms. Yang is reading. We can read her blurb. There's a lot going on there. This looks great. Here we've got Brooke Jackson, pink on white, white and pink. Here we've got Mr. Knazel. It looks like red and tan, tan on red. He's got a very thorough blurb. We've also got the logo in here, and you're going to want to make sure that you include that along with the date. So this, of course, was from last year. We've got 2021 in the corner. You're going to put 2022 or whatever year it is in the upper right-hand corner of your poster. Here we've got, of course, pink on yellow, and then yellow on pink. And then I actually just read this book over the summer. This is a great book, so I'm going to talk to you about how to build this particular poster. And you're going to create something that looks a little bit like this. I just made this a moment ago, and I want to highlight 3 things. So in the examples that we were just looking at right here, for example, we have the text. We've got the title of the book, Clara and the Sun, and the author's name, also in a rectangle underneath it. So likewise, we have that here. So we created a little bit of contrast using rectangles. Alternatively, if you want to use a layer style, for example, stroke on one of them, and then just a rectangle underneath, you can do that as well, red and white, white and red. And I really want you to just take a look at 3 things where we've got some highlighting, or overlapping rather. So I intentionally put this text right here so we have a little bit of the white drifting onto the top of this box. Likewise, we've got this mountain right here, right? And I made a copy. And I think that overlapping effect makes it look a little bit more 3D. So if you look right here, that doesn't look amazing. This all of a sudden looks incredible. And then I intentionally grabbed the Mr. Chan layer and shifted it so it's right here. So we've got this just a tiny little bit of overlay. I think that looks cool. This text is visible, and then there we've got the logo itself. All right, so let's build this. I'm going to show you exactly what I did, and there's a few things I really want you to take note. So I'm going to right-click the background, Command C, Command V, Command T. You guys are going to do a little bit of research. Maybe you're going to go to Amazon.com if you're not really sure about what visuals you should include, or do a little research online and think about what looks good for you. All right, so here is this visual, but you know what I noticed? I noticed that Mr. Chan is concealing this mountain range, right? And then we've got these beautiful cherry blossoms, but that's going to be a little problematic when we're trying to add text later on, right? It's going to be a little too busy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Command J to make a copy. I'm going to press Command T, right click, and then I'm going to select flip horizontal. Flip horizontal right here. And now all of a sudden, I think that looks much, much better. There we go. Great. And then so here's what I know. I'm just going to grab this logo. Typically, we're going to add the logo last, but because I know where I want it to go, I'm going to situate it right here. Thanks, Spencer. Spencer, you're doing a great job on this poster, by the way. Okay. We're going to come back to this in a minute, and I can close out this layer. All right. So what I'm going to do is you're going to want to go to thefont.com, and you're going to want to get a fun font. So for example, this is Sign Paper. I don't love this font, but you're going to find one that really resonates with you. Let's grab the text. I'm clicking and dragging from one layer to another. All right, and then simply, here's what I know. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to use the making sure I'm on a new layer, rectangular marquee. I'm using the eyedropper tool, and I'm actually getting a color from this book, like so. I'm going to press G for paint bucket, bam. I'm going to pull up the text tool. I'm going to actually return to the spreadsheet, and you guys do me super solid. Command F, Chan. All right. You want to copy and paste the title of the book, the author of the book, and all this text. You don't want to rewrite anything, because if you do that, it's possible that you make a mistake, and we really want to eliminate or reduce the likelihood of mistakes. And I don't see this right now because it's red on red, so I'm going to press Command A. I'm going to change this from red to white. Beautiful. Command check to confirm. Command T. You're going to find a different font, but I'm okay for right now. And I'm going to actually hide this like so. I'm going to use the object selection tool. I'm going to make sure that I'm on the right layer, and I'm going to press Command C. Ooh, let's try this again. Making sure we're on the right layer. There we go. Command C, Command V. And now when I drag this up, now we've got this nice little overlap. That looks cool. I anticipate you'll do this with like architecture or maybe people or things like that. All right. So basically the last thing I want to share with you guys is how to create containers of text. So I'm going to go to column G. I'm going to press Command C, return to Photoshop. I'm going to press T. I'm going to make sure that we always want light text on a dark background, or dark text on a light background. And so here's what I know we've been doing all year. If I left click once and making sure it's left aligned, and I press Command V, right? This font right here is fun, but it's not easy to read. So I'm going to get a simple font. Let's say something a little bit, let's say hypothetically, sorry guys, thanks for being patient. Maybe something like this. Okay. Click once, press Command V, and then we can do enter, right? And then enter and a line break. But if you want to shift this over, that becomes really problematic. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cancel this. And here's what I'm going to do now. I've got my font ready, my text size ready. Instead of clicking once, I'm going to click and drag. Okay. And I'm going to release. And I'm going to press Command V. And there it is. And now here's what I know. If I click and drag the corner, I can change the shape of this text container. And that's really easy. That's very convenient. And all right, so I know it's going to look a little something like this. Text is too big, so I'm going to press Command A. I'm going to drop this to 24. And I can still grab the corner. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to press Command A once more. Let's try this at 30. That looks amazing. But you know what, guys? I also see that the light on light and this reflection of the mountain, it's kind of challenging to see. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on layer 1. I'm going to use the rectangular marquee right here. And I'm going to right click. We're going to select content aware fill. And let's see what happens. I'm going to press OK. And that looks so much better. Do you guys see that? And then if we wanted to add a little bit more contrast, what I know is that if we're on this layer, and we are, and I click effects, and I click, let's try drop shadow, we can add just a little bit of a drop shadow. We want to be subtle. I'm going to drop the opacity. I'm going to reduce the size. And I think that looks amazing. If you do something that looks a little bit like this, you're going to earn yourself an A. We're going to include 2022 in the upper right-hand corner. You're going to submit it as a JPEG. And then you're going to start your second poster, and you're going to indicate that in the spreadsheet. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm really excited. Good luck.